Kel,
baby,
we have a moment to talk with the
check.
our Lord Savior, the streamer, on Saturday or Sunday, so I can go to your house. So after the fact, you can take a shower, so you don't have to worry while they're all walking around with all the hair in your shoulders. I just keep seeing you. I'm like,
I need a good haircut.
I can do
I've
that
been
too.
cutting my own hair, and it's not working out.
Can you move your mic to the right a bit, please?
To my right?
Yep. Keep going a little bit more.
Oh, thank you for my check. Oh, it's okay.
My
We can
body
split
to
it.
the left, mic
I
to
think
the right.
between our
I'm a
four of
little
us,
off axis
we'll
to
be good
the
enough.
microphone.
Just wondered what these things are look like. Turn the mic a little bit towards your mouth.
I'm gonna be on axis,
Where
and
do you
I'm
want to
gonna
put
make
it
sure
there?
the logo shows up.
Yeah.
And we got $100,000 grant. We're gonna make some
Okay.
electric cars.
Direct deposit my checks.
Yeah, come on then.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Oh, sweet.
Wow, Jen wrote a personal check. I know, not bad, right?
Yeah, it looks like it's the dry erase thing. We could just.
I know, that's kind of cool.
We can put another 3 zeros.
Just put my name right down there.
You need a dry erase check. Wow.
Yeah.
Instead of counting the bolsters, you can put just Kelkaposhaling.
Love
You
it.
can just
Yeah.
put it like there.
Pay to the order of.
Kelkaposhaling.
Perfect.
Should we stick that behind the curtains?
Is it showing up like that?
It is. I can see it. Yeah.
What if we put it forward against this? Let's try not to erase it.
Oh, that's great.
Oh yeah.
That's much better.
Yeah, and we'll be like, hey, guess what,
Oh,
ladies
we
and
have it.
gents? Guess what we got?
Dun 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 dun.
$1 million. Or no,
Just
100,000.
100.
100
That
grand.
is it. Dude, add 3 zeros to that.
That'll
Yeah.
buy like half a Tesla.
Well, if you get a used Tesla, you can have two.
Yeah, I
You
suppose.
guys smooth it, get the cloth out.
Well, what happened
All
with the?
that Pat asks of us. Keep a smooth table.
Check, baby, check, baby, check, baby,
Tilt it
check.
back towards you.
Well, this chair is a little lower. So I don't know if.
No, so just keep moving it to the left, please. Yep. And now twist it a little bit towards you.
Could you put the image there so I can see? Twist it towards me.
Yeah. There we go.
Excellent.
Check, check, baby, check.
Yes.
Manny's got a little.
Talk to me, please.
Oh. I'm gonna be
Howdy.
kicked out.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Getting ready to write this check.
Thank you, Danny, for having me on your show.
You're very welcome. It's nice having you.
You have a check for me?
Well, maybe next time. This one's not for you, but next time maybe there'll be one for you.
Okay. I'm patient.
Check, baby, check, baby. 1, 2.
That's right. Check, baby, check.
Check, baby, check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's good to be fun.
Apple announces new iPad Air that looks more like an iPad Pro.
Wow, I'm so excited.
Apple announces
Oh my
Apple
gosh.
Watch Series 6 with ability to measure blood oxygen levels.
I really needed that.
Yeah.
Wim Hof.
You wrap it.
That might step
you
up
wrap
your
it
Good afternoon, everyone. This is County Executive Pat Ryan, and a very exciting surprise. We're very fortunate to have our state senator, my state senator, Jen Metzger, join us. Thank you for being with us. It's good to see you.
I'm so happy to be back.
6 feet apart, but good
Yep.
to see you.
Yes, at a distance, a safe distance.
So we're going to talk some really exciting stuff in terms of the Green New Deal in Ulster County and how that ties into your work at the state and how we're kind of bringing that all together. So I'm excited about that. But we're also going to talk a little bit about COVID first, and we'll keep that brief and then dive into the other piece. But as always, we'll start with the numbers and the data with COVID. The high-level takeaway is we remain in a good place. We're holding steady still, thankfully. Thank you to everyone who's making that happen. Just a sense of the numbers quickly. We're at the total of 2240 cumulative cases. We've now tested almost 86,000 individuals in the county. We're holding pretty steady around active cases, and thankfully we've not had a fatality in several weeks now, fortunately, and have had over 2,000 residents recovered. So overall, we're continuing to fight this and make our way through it, and we'll talk more about that, but it's as a result of the collective community work. So thank you, everyone, for that. Hospitalization numbers, we are at 4 right now. That's within the general norm, but a little up from what we've seen the last few weeks. But that is we're less concerned about that metric right now because everything else is looking pretty good, but we're going to keep a close eye on that and make sure that that is hopefully an anomaly. And of course, to those 4 individuals fighting in the hospital right now, we send our love, we send all of our positive vibes, and for a quick recovery, and know that we're thinking of you and we support you. Active cases, we're at 126. As you can see on the graph, that's pretty much within the norm going back to end of June, early July, so we're holding steady there. And most important metric, and really why I'm relatively not as concerned about the hospital numbers, at least right now, is when we look at the new positive cases each day. As I always say, this is the critical metric to detect any reemergence. That number looks very, very good. In the last 72 hours, we've tested 1,623 individuals, 1,623, and had only 10 new positives from that. So that's a 0.61% rate of new infection over the last 72 hours, well below that 1% threshold, which is where we want to keep it. And so we're feeling good with where we sit in that regard. And again, that's a credit to everyone. Hospital capacity, final update there. This all looks very good. As I said, we have 4 patients now, but more than adequate capacity if needed, and hopefully we will not need it. So, as we think about how we can keep this going, I am a broken record at this point, but we'll continue to emphasize, and I know you are as well. I think you're even giving out masks
Yes.
in Ellenville.
On Friday. We're doing my office has been doing distributions. They're free of masks and hand sanitizer, and we'll be in Ellenville from I believe it's noon to 4 on Friday. I don't have its location, but it's right downtown, and we've been combining these events with census assistance as well. So if you haven't filled out the census, you can come pick up a mask, hand sanitizer, and do your census
That's
all
awesome.
at one time.
You should do all of those things, please. And that is, as I always remind folks, that's how we're going to continue to be able to move forward. Going to continue to, especially as we start to head into the fall and the winter, and more people do have to go indoors. It's going to be even more important that we keep our guard up on this and each do our part. And the big 3: wear a mask, which we're gonna. If you need a mask, there's many ways to get them, and you can reach out. We'll talk about that. Wear a mask, maintain social distance, and wash hands and use hand sanitizer. it's working. Let's keep it working.
Yes, absolutely. And I just want to say you can just go on our Facebook page or my website, metzger.nysenate.gov, for the exact location on Friday. But I encourage you to come out. It's free, and everyone can use this extra supplies. So
Thank you. That's awesome that you guys are doing that. And so as we continue to do that work to keep COVID in check, to fight the public health aspects of COVID, we've talked a lot about, and we regularly talk about, the other ripple effects and the second and third order effects on our economy, on particularly the most vulnerable in our community. And I know we were talking over the weekend, your office is receiving so many of the same phone calls we are of people just under so much pressure right now, particularly as unemployment ramped down, and that pressure is building. And so collectively as a team, I'm really proud that everybody at every level, from villages and towns all the way up, are working together to try to help as best we can.
yeah, we get a lot of calls. We've helped, my office has helped close to 2,000 people in our district navigate and get their unemployment insurance. But if people need any assistance, I encourage you to call my office really with anything, and all of our offices. We're all trying to help, in this challenging time. And, it is hard for everyone. I was just listening to a report this morning on the news about just the huge increase in food insecurity, food insecure families. So if you can, and you can donate to food pantries, that's really important. But, we have a lot of challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think relatively, for sure, and even objectively, I'm biased, but I think Ulster County and the whole region, we really have stepped up, and particularly what we did with our Project Resilience here, which I know you were a key part of too, with our food security needs or food insecurity needs, and now pivoting to childcare. So
yes, and I have to say I was so thrilled to hear about your child care initiative, because this is something I've been so worried about with, I have kids that are distance learning right now in the Rondout School District. I mean, parents are really challenged right now. It's hard to go back to work when your kids are at home learning. So this is really a huge service that you and the county are undertaking to help meet this need. It's going to enable people to continue working.
Yeah, and again, we'll put this up at the end too, but if you are in need of childcare or really anything, a quick reminder, you can contact Senator Metzger's office and or our Recovery Service Center, which is really the one-stop shop. And now we have our cool little graphic to give you that number, 845-443-8888. And if we can't help you, our offices we interface and can connect. So thank you for working together on that. And the other thing that I'm excited to talk with you about, particularly with you about, we have the immediate health crisis, we have the sort of immediate other impacts, but then there's also this opportunity, I think, and a need to think about how do we come out of this better, stronger, more equitable,
resilient, more exactly.
And what does that look like? And I think I don't want to lose that window. And particularly in Ulster County, I think core to that is going to be leaning into one of our great strengths and assets and resources, which is our environment. And as we rebuild, integrating that into the vision of what our county and our community is going to look like. And the reason I'm so excited to talk specifically with Senator Metzger about it is, you have been working on these issues your whole professional career at every level, and you were so instrumental in passing landmark legislation in your first term, the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act. I got that right?
Yep,
that's awesome.
You got CLCPA.
CLCPA, which really, it definitively puts New York at or very near the leadership nationally.
We are in the lead.
In the lead. I like it.
Nationally.
So
Yeah.
as we pass that at the state level, then it's like, how do we actually implement that on the ground? And that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. So maybe we'll do it reverse order.
Yeah.
We'll talk about an immediate thing we're working on together, and then we can zoom out and kind of talk big picture.
Sure,
that work?
sure. Although I do want to say, so, we've set, in terms of, shifting to carbon-free electricity generation, the state legislation sets as a goal a carbon-free electricity system by 2040. But Ulster County has an even more ambitious goal of reaching that by 2030.
2030.
Right?
Yes.
Which I
Both
think,
are very aggressive.
yes, both
But
very aggressive.
we are going to fight like,
yeah. No,
fight
and
like heck to do it.
and I'm thrilled because you really do have to keep pushing, pushing the envelope. And there's nothing that makes change happen, just spreads the change than demonstrating, leading by example, and showing that it can be done in Ulster County will have a ripple effect throughout localities at the state. And, we can we've set ambitious targets at the state level. We're developing a plan to get there, but, it takes all of us,
Right.
And local governments, county governments have such an important role to play in that, and really a leading role. So,
And I think I feel fortunate that as I came into office a little over a year ago, we were already well along on the way.
yes.
And so now it's how do we move more quickly, and how do we not lose momentum in the midst of a once-in-a-century pandemic,
Yes.
which is that's difficult, and we can't lose sight of those long-term investments that we need to make. So part of what we're excited to roll out is that for me coming in at the county level, I set out this goal of implementing and making real that vision as a Green New Deal in Ulster County. And a core part of that is setting aggressive targets. And so how do we get to 100% by 2030? Well, obviously we need to set milestones to get there, hold ourselves accountable. So when I started in office, we were around 20% of our electricity being renewable, locally generated. We made big headway and are now approaching 40%. And then in next year's budget, we're going to make a series of investments, partially funded through the partnership with you, to get to 50%, which will put us ahead of the schedule of getting to 100%. So even in the midst
great.
of COVID, we're continuing to work this to make those investments. And this will absolutely make the county one of the leaders in the state for sure. And to be hopefully that proof point that you talked about.
Absolutely. And one of the tough nuts to crack, there's the electricity sector, which is extremely important, but the leading contributor to New York's greenhouse gas emissions is the transportation sector.
Right.
The solution is, in good part, electrification of transportation. And so, again, cleaning up our act in the electricity sector is obviously hugely important. But I was thrilled to learn about what you all are piloting here for UCAT. Investments in public transportation is absolutely key.
Yeah.
And electrification of that transportation. And I know you all are working on the purchase of 3 electric buses, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
which is really great for UCAT. And I'm announcing today that I've secured a $100,000 grant for the county to cover the cost of a 30 kilowatt solar array that will go on the roof of the UCAT facility to power the charging facility for those buses. So it's basically the perfect solution if you can combine on-site renewables with charging infrastructure. Like, that's what we want everywhere. So I'm very excited to be partnering with you all in this project.
We're so thankful because to do as you said, like you got to have all the pieces. You can't just buy the buses. You have to be able to power them or to charge
Absolutely
them. And
right.
then to charge them, you need obviously generation. And then to do it all in one place, resourced by the funds you were able to secure, that's kind of the dream. So it's very cool.
So it's great. And again, I hope that this can be a model for other county transportation services. I mean, there are other parts of my district more rural than Ulster County. Delaware County has no public transportation. Sullivan is working to expand its public transportation, but that's really has to be a focus as well. There's greening it, and then there's just providing that public service, because it's good for the environment, obviously, but it's also really important for people to get to work, to get to college, to school, and it's a huge barrier for many people not having that resource. So, we're very fortunate to have you, Kat, here, and I think that this is going to be a great example. So, and I wanted to mention. Just in July, I introduced legislation. So California has adopted a new rule to basically electrify its trucks and buses. It's a zero emissions program. New York has the same program for vehicles that for passenger vehicles that California has. But we want to get New York up to the same place that California is now on buses and trucks. So this legislation would actually put New York on par with California. And it works the same way in basically requiring manufacturers over time to add more and more to electric vehicles to their sales goals, basically. But once again, by demonstrating that, yes, we can do this. We can convert our fleets to electric buses and charge them, on site. I think this is going to be a great example for the rest of the state.
I hope, and I think as I talk to our team that manages our fleet, one of the big things that they brought up is, again, it's not just about the fleet. We have to make the infrastructure investment to set up generation and charging stations. Not just for individual passenger vehicles, but also for commercial and municipal vehicles. So we know that's a key part of it. And again, to be able to do that, even in the midst of the challenging time we're in, is I think even more important. So.
I mean, I think it's all part of, look, we're in the midst of a serious economic contraction. We're going to be working in the next years to, build up our economy again, expand investment, and we need to be, thoughtful about what we're investing in. And we do, as you mentioned at the outset, it's a huge opportunity for New York. I mean, the climate crisis is existential in nature. We have, it's the biggest challenge humanity's ever faced.
We've seen it the last few weeks, most acutely, of course, but.
No, absolutely. And what's happening right now on the West Coast is, we're literally, we're experiencing the pollution from those fires. It's traveling across the country, but it's devastating out there. And of course, we've had, the experience of hurricanes and power outages and the like. But we can also really see this for what it is, which is an opportunity to really achieve true energy security by generating our own energy in state, by reducing our dependence on fossil fuels, eliminating our dependence on fossil fuels. And it's just a fact that clean energy industries are labor-intensive industries. They're going to create jobs. Fossil fuel industries are capital-intensive. They don't create a lot of jobs. So we have, and these are good-paying jobs, trades jobs. Electricians, plumbers. There are, there's huge opportunity here that we've hardly scratched the surface on. So it's exciting.
That's the big opportunity. I think you're exactly right. If we come out of this, of COVID, and we even begin to go back to the old system of fossil fuels and everything that we know is wrong, then shame on us. That to me
Yeah.
is the key impetus. Let's use the crisis, frankly, for that to accelerate that change.
Absolutely.
And one of the things we're actually doing, in addition to the project we were just talking about, in my proposed budget next year, we want to lead through making those investments. We're actually going to, between some of the immediate operating programs like UCAT electrification and greening our fleet, we're also in our capital budget going to make around $2.8 million of
Fabulous.
capital investment in upgrading our buildings and our footprint, which absolutely will spur significant job creation in all the trades you talked about. And that's where I think
Absolutely.
it gets really exciting, because I think morally, you and I and many people appreciate the imperative to protect our environment, but we have to show we can actually create a better, more just economy as we do it, which I know we can.
Yeah, and those investments in energy efficiency are those are the best kinds of investments you can make. You know, it to the extent that we can reduce consumption, that saves. First of all, it saves the county a lot of money. The more efficient you are, the less taxpayers are paying to run government.
Right.
So, and you know, there are a lot of services that governments provide that are extremely energy intensive. You know, like wastewater treatment facilities. The main operating cost, probably 80% of it, is electricity. Right. You know, of those fixed costs. And so, you know, the extent that we can to the extent we become more efficient, we're saving taxpayer money, and we're also protecting the environment. So
that's the
name of the game.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do coming out of this. So, I want to. I don't know if we put the slide up too, but I do want to just hit it one more time, because
absolutely,
it's a really big deal to help advance our goals, in addition to the larger upgrades, or excuse me, capital investments, to receive the $100,000 grant, which just, you know, I want to make sure people understand what you personally and your staff and your office did to make this happen. These are competitive. There's a lot of, you know, folks fighting for these resources for their community, and in your first term to be able to deliver a program like that, so that we can take that $100,000 and make this investment to green our fleet and electrify our fleet, and also, you know, as part of that, to build solar. Thank you. On behalf
Absolutely.
of all the residents of the county,
this
thank
is, you know, this is, I think, like one of the wisest ways the state can invest.
Yes.
Grant funding in dollars is into this kind of investment, and that's what we need to be doing more of. So you know,
well, it doesn't always
to me,
happen.
it's very
so thank you. That's.
Well, I am thrilled. I am so excited about this project, and I know how hard it is. I just know, you know, the transportation is a tough one. You know, so. You know, models like this in Ulster County, it's important to move the needle in that sector. So I'm thrilled that we can partner on that. And you've also been doing, you know, Ulster County's also been doing so much on trails, and it's, you know, so it's investments in public transportation, it's electrification of transportation, but it's also alternatives to, you know, non-motorized transportation. And there's been so much going on in Ulster County too. And, you know, to the extent that we can make our roads safer for bicycles and pedestrians, and really encourage that. It's also encouraging a healthier lifestyle as well. So it's, you know, it's good for our quality of life and our health. But there are a lot of things that we're doing right here in Ulster County. So.
Yeah. Well, and again, thank you, and let's keep pushing it. Let's keep.
I'm there with you.
All right. Good. So I know we kind of went longer than we usually do. I want to be respectful of your time and everybody's time, but you got me very excited about this, and I know you are too. So thanks for talking about it.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, and yeah, keep up the great work.
So we usually, as we end these updates, I don't know if we did this the last time you were here, which feels like ages ago, but
I know,
it
it
probably
was
wasn't.
a long time ago.
I always take the time to really make sure that we thank everyone across our community from so many different angles and perspectives that have helped get us through the crisis and are continuing to. So I don't know if you have anything you want to add there. I know in particular I've been shouting out our teachers who the last few
I was
weeks
just
have been,
going to say,
have been going through a lot.
A huge shout out. I mean, of course, all of our healthcare professionals and staff are continuing. The numbers are still low in New York, but they are still out there putting themselves at risk. But I just know, as a mother with kids who have just returned to school, and our teachers are. They are absolutely doing a tremendous job, and they have such a huge challenge. I mean, this is such a non-traditional way to teach.
That's an optimistic.
But it was so cute this morning. I came downstairs, and my son Jasper was just starting in his Spanish class online, and I heard the teacher say, "Oh, it's so nice to see your sweet, tired faces," which they were. His was definitely a tired face, but it was early morning, first class.
Early morning Spanish.
But they're doing it, and it's tough. It's a tough balance because we need education is so essential, and just balancing that with the health risks that we face. It's tough, and I so appreciate the work that they're doing, and school administrators.
And parents.
And parents absolutely. And parents are playing a huge role.
Yeah. So as we've done, like with every challenge we face, we're adapting, we're figuring out totally new systems often. And I think on many fronts, we still have work to do, and it's not perfect, but the way that we've all rallied and tried to take care of each other and thought about others as we've gone about our business, it says so much about the values of our community, and I think it's on all of us to keep that spirit going of all in this together.
Absolutely. I actually also just want to give a shout out to our child care providers, because similarly they are putting themselves out there, and we really we need more resources to invest in childcare right now, but we're just so appreciative of the work you're doing. You're helping keep our economy going. We couldn't do it without you. So thank you.
So thank you, everyone. That's not to exclude many others.
Yes.
We could do a whole nother session on all the other folks, but really thank you on behalf of all the people of our county and the region. Thank you. And unless you have anything you want to close on?
Everyone just be safe, be well, and
stay resilient. And our next update will be on Thursday at 2 p.m. Thank you so much, Senator Metzger. You made this a much more interesting and dynamic to have you here, so thank you for making the time.
Anytime.
And we'll see you all in a few days. Take care.
Take care.